actually. Yeah, so breaking news, President Mnangagwa and the ZANU-PF are panicking. Yeah, definitely after the loss of ANC. Quite interesting. So you guys should come through, let's have a chat. And also the way of words are furious. Yeah. They said, who decide who's going to be the president of this country, either Mnangagwa or Chiwenga. Quite interesting, right there, quite interesting. Yeah, so before we get into the details, if it's your first time to come across this channel, I'm going to ask you to subscribe. Make sure that you ring the bell so that every time I'm live, you will be robbed right here so that we have a conversation. So to my regulars, I want to send you some shout out of love and say thank you guys for your support. It really means a lot. I appreciate you deeply. But do not forget to like the live so that we push algorithm, inviting everyone to the conversation. That's the most important part, right? Is that season that we need to converse, deeply, deeply conversing. All right, so quite interesting here. I want to send some shout out to James. Good to see you, man. Everyone else, I want to appreciate you for coming through, guys. Thank you for coming through. All right. So Hopo Chingono, he said, the Junda, Mr. Muguni, good to see you. He said the Junda PF, means ZANU-PF, is confused, upset, furious, and very angry. All those bribes have come to not coalition fair. So he's referring to South Africa, that your investment, so that you could silence everybody who was speaking ill of your actions or who could be in support of Zimbabweans. It's over for you. Apparently, allegations are, some of their accounts will be frozen. It's where the high top, notch, the big wigs in ZANU-PF because of the Zimbabweans that are suffering, so that they would send the money to the Zimbabwean people. Quite interesting right there. So yeah, it's that season where things have to turn around. I can see everything turning around, turning around, turning around for all good. All right, quite interesting. I know, because they say that they invested almost, they invested under 3 million runs when we do not even have no medication in our hospitals. All they are focusing on is the support to keep holding on to power. Quite very sad. So they're on panic mode. Here's the message that they send out at the ZANU-PF Patriots. ZANU-PF policy and coordination meeting discussed South African elections. ZANU-PF policy and coordination meeting was held today at party headquarters. The meeting was addressed by political commissar Comrade Munyara's Machacha on behalf of the Secretary General, Comrade Dr. Mopofo. Issue discussed. Number one was the recent elections in South Africa. Number two, party restructuring. And three, mobilizing, among other issues. So they are definitely shaking now because the power is falling off. It's over for ZANU-PF. No one. You know what happened in Zambia? You also know what happened in Senegal. You know, in Tanzania, those countries are stable. I guess that's one of the reasons why we saw Wikinews gallivanting. They are trying so hard to buy support. Said, it's time. Old Gadayas, our brothers, our fathers, go there and rest and play with your grandchildren. It's time for you to give an access to young people to be able to take over where you ended. I guess there's quite a number of reasons why they cannot do anything, because they are like, hey, some of them have committed heinous crimes and they know that there will be consequences. So they rather keep holding on to something maybe until death. Until death do us part. Quite sad. All right, and then Zimbabwe has also been caught being the top 5 of gold smuggling. I say top 5. For those that are smuggling gold to UAE, Dubai, Zimbabwe is top 5. The News Day reported that Zimbabwe is one of the top 5, African countries reportedly smuggling gold to the United Arab Emirates. A new report shows. The report, titled On the Trail of African Gold, a quantifying production and trade to combat illicit flows, was released by Swiss Aid last week and looks at how Africa is the world's main gold-producing continent and how the yellow metal plays an immense and contrasting role there. Gold is, among others, a source of income for millions of artisanal miners, the main source of revenue for many governments, a means of financing armed groups, and the cause of serious human rights violations and environmental degradation. And we also know, in Dubai, it's gold everywhere. Why not? They're taking it from fools, right? They're taking it cheaper. You watch the gold mafia. I mean, you saw it. You saw it. You all saw it, what's happening, literally. And there were vets, actually. There were veterans of Zimbabwe's 1970s struggle for independence hold the power to decide who will rule the country between President Mnangagwa and his deputy, Constantino Chiwenga. A ZANU-PF Central Committee member has said. So which means they are having discussion. The fact that they're having discussion, I'm sure they're unhappy with the leadership of President Mnangagwa. So now they are opting maybe someone, for another, person. I said, and let me make this very clear. I'm sure it's just within the parameters of ZANU-PF, because when it comes to the Zimbabwean community, we choose the leaders that we want. We cannot tolerate the muzzling any longer. Zimbabweans are wiser, they're smarter. Nobody is entertaining abuse. People want to choose their own leader, not to be told who's supposed to lead us. Sorry, sirs. We are no longer foolish. This is 2024. We have seen all your games, and we are not entertaining them anymore. And the war vets are also fighting that they want their way in because they played a role during the time of the coup. We know that you should pay each other there and sort out yourselves. We're not interested. For now, we are focusing on having a Zimbabwe that functions and work for everyone. That's our goal. Now, very interesting to actually hear what the army are saying. The army, I can't believe that the army is saying the uniformed forces urged to remain patriotic. They want us and them, every Zimbabwean, to be patriotic. Maybe if I proceed to talk about the army right now, I want you guys to take a listen to the South African Police Commissioner speaking. There are people that have access to the video, but I want you to listen to them. And I also want the police in Zimbabwe to actually listen to this video as well and be able to see what other countries are doing. Oh, yeah, what other people are doing, how other people are functioning. It's time for you guys to understand that we are simply wasting our time. We're destroying ourselves, don't we? We are ruining our lives, destroying ourselves, honestly. So let's take a listen to the South African Police Commissioner speaking to the police, reminding them that you are there to serve the badge. And I'm here to tell the police in Zimbabwe, you are there to serve the badge. You know the badge, the Zimbabwean bird? Right, the badge. Take a listen, please.
As much as you love a political party, but remember, you can only be loyal to the badge. Because it doesn't matter who's in charge of this country. There shall be a South African police service beyond the elections. The Constitution says so. The Police Act have appointed each one of you. You are not being voted to be in a position, so you shall remain as a law enforcement officer in charge of that unit and that station wherever you're working the district, and you are serving the badge, and you are loyal to the national flag. But the reality is you are a police officer. You are a civil servant. You shall serve, it doesn't matter who. If any other party takes over this government in this province of KwaZulu-Natal, you will serve them. And you will obey the directives that come from that political party. If your heart tells you, I want this party to be in charge, go and vote for that party. It's your right. But when that party loses, it doesn't mean that you must be upset about it. You can't put it into your heart because you're a civil servant.
Can you hear? These are police speaking, the commissioner speaking to the police. You are there to serve the badge. And I'm here to say to the police of Zimbabwe, you are there to serve the bird. You know our Zimbabwean bird? The flag, the people. We, the people. Point is ZANU-PF. Not only ZANU-PF, because I don't like to call ZANU-PF like those that are working in cohorts with the foreigners to loot all our minerals are the people that they're serving. That's how bad it is, honestly. People have been saying the police being accused of being partisan, the judiciary as well, and the army. That's why you heard what, Hopo said, that the junta PF means the junta people calling the army, isn't it? The junta PF are the army PF. My brothers and sisters, these people are simply letting you destroy your own lives and your children too. Your families by saving the interests of people who don't even remember your name. You know what I mean? When are we going to love ourselves and do what's right? Listen to other police. Right now, we are in the election mode. election that ended last year. But South Africans are not talking about what can we do to move our country forward. And that election will happen just a few days ago. That's how different people are. It's all about your choices. What do you want for this nation? If we want Zimbabwe to move forward, we need to change our actions and make sure we focus on how can we build our country moving forward. It's us who make the decision, the people. It's us, notwithstanding your service. Maybe you're wearing a camouflage, maybe wearing the police uniform, maybe wearing a nurse. We are there to serve the people. Let's do what right by our people, for us at the end of the day. It will serve us. Why don't we think such simple principles? Now the army, where we are there, they're saying we need to be patriotic. And I'm sitting on the other side, I'm like, sirs, the army, brothers and sisters, you must remember that being patriotic is not being foolish and dormant. Because there's quite a number of people who are talking about patriotism. I don't know what they're referring to. Do you know what I'm doing right now? That's being patriotic. Making sure that at least my push is to make sure a society becomes conducive, becomes loving, unified, respectful, successful. That's being patriotic. But for those that are taking our minerals, working in cohorts with foreigners, they're the ones that are unpatriotic. So we need to be very clear on how we define the word patriotism. Because I've seen that word has been abused by many people. They think being patriotic is being stupid and dormant. Sitting and just allowing anyone to treat you anyhow. That's not being patriotic. You know what I mean? Most Zimbabweans, I can tell you, they are very much patriotic, especially the ones in the diaspora, even the one in the local country. Zimbabweans want best for their country. But we all know who are unpatriotic, right? The thugs, these corrupt individuals, most of these leaders are not patriotic. Those are the ones that are taking our riches out to their friends. So how patriotic are they? How patriotic are they? All right, so the commander of Zimbabwe National Army, Lieutenant General Aniselem Sanyatwe, has called on uniformed forces to remain resolute, patriotic and loyal in the performance of their constitutional mandate of defending the country's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Great words right there. He was presiding over the command exchange of Harare District garrison between Colonels Andrew Kabaira and Richard Mapanda at Charles Gumbo Barracks in Harare last week. Sanyatwe said discipline and patriotism remain the cornerstone of the Zimbabwe Defense Forces to achieve its mandate and objective. As you witness this handover and takeover parade, I want you to fully support commanders so that they will be able to realize visions set. As you execute your duties in your diverse capacities, don't forget that commanders are assigned to command you. Hence, discipline, loyalty, and dedication to duty is of paramount importance, he said. Turning to the command exchange, General Sanyate said it was normal practice in the Zimbabwe National Army for commanders to be moved from one appointment to another in line with the overall staff requirements obtaining the organization. Such changes in appointments help to expose the officers to diverse situations as they grow in their careers, he said. This system of management helps to develop officers into versatile and all-around leaders capable of handling the ever-changing demands of the military profession. In respect of conditions of service, General Sanyate said the government was working flat out to come up with lasting solutions. Ladies and gentlemen, as commanders of Zimbabwe National Army, I'm aware of the challenges we face as a nation in general and as the defense forces in particular. This is a passing phase. We should remain focused as a professional army. I'm seized with these challenges, and let me highlight to you that all the issues that are raised are being actioned, he said. Assuming command of Harare District Garrison, Mapanda promised to implement an open door policy to all stakeholders in order to solve pertinent issues affecting the garrison. Peace and tranquility remain key in the attainment of the conducive environment for economic activity to thrive as the nation gears towards attaining an upper middle income economy by 2030. Again, another mantra that I don't even want to hear. The upper middle income by 2030. And I'm going to say this to the army. I'm not a person who believes in a lie. I do not want to be sold a dummy, and I've been made it very clear. We want a Zimbabwe where the solutions come now. And I'm going to explain. We have been having promises after promises after promises, and still facing the same challenges. What is so difficult for us to sit around the table and have a solution? Why people are refusing to have a dialogue in the country? Upper middle income, all these mantras of ZANU-PF, we don't buy it. We want a country that function, not keep on promising, Zimbabweans lies. I'm not buying the 2030 mantra, not at all. I know it's simply buying time at the expense of the suffering of our people. So, handing over the garrison, Colonel Kabera said it was an honor for him to be accorded an opportunity to command one of the Zimbabwe National Army prestigious formations. Great up there. All these, appointments are great. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to, this whole upper middle thing, I'm tired of hearing that statement. As far as ZANU-PF is concerned, I don't trust them. I do not trust the leadership of ZANU-PF. Let me make it very clear. I don't trust them. Because they've been saying things, but the actions speaks different. We have corruption losing 1.8 billion, confirmed on record, every year. The question is, what are you guys doing? Why can you protect this? What is so difficult? How is that money being lost? Do you understand what I'm saying? We have gold smuggling. We saw it on gold mafia. The people are known. It's not like they don't know. They know who these people are. Zimbabweans are tired of promises. They want to see action. They definitely want to see action. Guys, this is why I keep on saying I love where we are going right now and how ANC lost the power. Because you know what happens? And ZANU-PF is going to lose the power the same. Easy peasy, just like that. They are too comfortable. They've been lying for so many years, and no one is buying all their lies any longer. But I loved the statement that was of Ramaphosa. That's why South Africa is always on the top notch. Why people respect them? Because they respect their country. We have in Zimbabwe leaders who don't know how to accept that something is wrong. They cannot acknowledge that, no, we've made a mistake, want to correct it. They will have to find a way to lie to citizens. No, I love it when, South Africans are able to say, no, we did not do it right, including their friends, ANC. ANC can acknowledge that, no, we lost the election. We didn't do things right, but we want to work with everyone to fix our country. You understand? Your friends, I'm talking about ZANU-PF supporters, your friends are doing the right thing, that you are failing to do. Simple principles, you're failing. Simple. You know what makes another marriage succeed and the other one fail? Simple principles. Communication. Communication properly. Simple. You can put two couples in the same situation, the other one will succeed, the other one fails. Why? Principles. We don't have problems in Zimbabwe. We are rich, in fact. But we can't live the life that we want because we keep on protecting thugs. At the expense of the masses. To me, it doesn't make sense. Honestly, it does not make sense. I want us to listen to Ramaphosa speaking. Hey, ZANU-PF leaders, can you learn? Can you just learn? Like simple principle, can you just learn from your friends? One thing that will help you, let me help you something with, I think people that may struggle. This helped me a lot. I remember my friends and I used to talk about the issue of unlearning what you have learned that is not right, and then relearning the good things, If you are having a challenge of being around, you know how some people are just toxic in life in general. Then what you must do, you need to find those people that talks very quietly and calm and always loving, and listen to those people a lot. They need to automatically undo what you have learned that was wrong. So if you're always spending your time around people who are negative, it's time for you to shift and start to listen to people who are positive. It automatically changes the way that you see life. It takes ZANU-PF to turn, and everything will settle in Zimbabwe. ANC lost the election, and they're accepting, they're willing to work with others for the betterment of South Africa, the country as a whole. Peacefully, no fight, no blocking of any political party, no arresting of anybody. Everyone was free campaigning. Simple principles. But here we have Anashi Gumba, they could not explain how they ran their processes. Money is being looted, tenders, no explanation. It is sad. It is the most heartbreaking thing. Kutadza so zvingori simple. Vanotadza. Even when you make mistakes, it's okay to say, guys, we have hurt you, we've made mistakes, but we want to correct it. Zimbabweans are forgiving people. They will understand, and we can work together to build our country. But no, you would rather let us suffer because you can't accept what we are wrong, and we want to correct it. Let's listen to Ramaphosa, please. Just listen to him speaking. Top class. No wonder why their countries are successful. They're not perfect, but many you can never compare with Zimbabwe. You can never compare. No, please, please don't. They shaped me to be the woman that I am. Every time I always turn and I pray to God, I'm like, thank you. He let me leave Zimbabwe when I was young. And for those who didn't know, oh my God, my brother, I know he's going to listen to this, but it's the truth, my daddy. When I left Zimbabwe, I was actually following a boyfriend. You just heard me, actually. That was the truth. You know, I was so in love and I was crazy in love, crazy. You know, and I was trying to talk to my uncle, you know what, I just want to get a place for school, you know. And I knew what was happening, you know, and they took my daddy and, well, you know what, I wiggled my way, but anyway, the relationship did not work well, but the purpose of God was within the whole thing. You see how God works? I was very young, early young, fresh from the box, you know, top class, intelligent. I was not playing games. Oh, man. Ha. I was more confident than the way I am now when I was young. Very much confident. But you know what? It builds me to be the woman that I am. I can't even begin to fathom the way ZANU-PF is doing things. It flabbergasts me every time. I'm sitting and I'm like, are these people serious? Are they serious? Let's listen to Ramaphosa.
Just 4 issues that I'd like to comment on in terms of what you said.
I saw it myself, wow.
The first one, and I'd like tonight care very much about their country as exemplified in the manner in which they went out to vote. South Africans have demonstrated that they want to be part of making this beautiful country a better place. South Africans have shown how important their vote is and that they know that their vote does count. By going to vote, the people of South Africa have taken responsibility not only for the future of themselves as voters and their families, but for the future of our beautiful country. Through their votes, they have demonstrated clearly and plainly that our democracy is strong, that our democracy is robust, and that it is enduring. 30 years in the making of this democracy, it remains strong and it is still durable. And we are meant to be grateful for that. And thank you to the people of South Africa.
Our president is speaking.
Our people have given effect to the clarion call that has resonated across generations, that the people shall govern. Our people have spoken. Whether we like it or not, they have spoken. Warata lao sarati, babuile bat. As the leaders of political parties, as all those who occupied or occupy positions of responsibility in society, we have heard the voices of our people, and we must respect their choices and their wishes. Over the past 30 years, we have strived together to build a country which everyone, black and white, man and woman, young and old, can call home. This election has reaffirmed building a South Africa for all remains the defining mission of our nation. Over the course of the election campaign, parties and candidates have at times differed, and quite often forcefully. They have expressed a wide variety of views that are often at odds with each other. This is a welcome and necessary feature of a robust democracy such as ours. Yet throughout the election campaign, parties and candidates have held fast to the fundamental principles of our Constitution and our democracy. Parties and candidates have affirmed the right of voters to participate in an election that is free, fair, and peaceful. And now we are all called upon to recognize that the results of the election in the end reflect the will of the people. What this election has made plain is that the people of South Africa expect their leaders to work together to meet their needs. They expect the parties for which they have voted to find common ground, to overcome their differences, to act and work together for the good of everyone. I want to repeat, to find common ground, and underline that, to overcome their differences, to act and work together for the good of everyone. That is what the people of South Africa have said. Now, our people expect all parties to work together within the framework of our Constitution and address whatever challenges we encounter peacefully and in accordance with the prescripts of our Constitution and the rule of law. That is what is required of us. And of course, we will always have different views. We will always have problems that we will raise. What our people expect of all of us is to work together to find solutions in a peaceful manner in accordance with our laws. Each party emerges from this election with a mandate based on the commitments they each made to the electorate. However, all the parties share an overarching mandate to work in partnership with each other and with society more broadly to build a country that is inclusive, united, and prosperous. As we take our seats in Parliament, in the National Assembly and Parliament, and in the provincial legislatures, let us appreciate that the seats that we occupy do not belong to us. They belong to the people of South Africa as we represent them. Whatever authority, whatever power we are entrusted with must be exercised to advance the interests of the people of South Africa. As the 2024 election reaches its conclusion, and as you mop up everything that has to do with your work, Chairperson, we want to thank the staff and leadership of the Independent Electoral Commission, who have worked tirelessly to ensure the success of these elections, officers that participated in the elections. I wish to thank all the local and international observer teams who gave their time and effort to ensure a free and fair election. I had occasion to thank the former president of Kenya, just to thank him for being here, President Kenyatta, as well as to thank President Jonathan of Nigeria, who were leading various teams on behalf of our continent, the AU, as well as on behalf of AISA. But I also do want to thank the journalists, all of you with your cameras here, the researchers, camera people, producers, analysts, and other members of the media who played such an essential role in ensuring that the people of South Africa were well informed as they went to vote. Thank you very much for being present and giving us the news continuously.
Wow. You know, when I listen to Ramaphosa speaking, I'm actually just kind of just give an analogy of a family setup. Remember, you know, a family that are known for being toxic, you know, those kind of families, you know, and there's some people who came from those kind of families. And you know your neighbor, you know how they live. The father is loving, you know, the father is caring. You can see him kissing his children, tell them I love you. You know, they don't have much, but there's that love in their homes. That's exactly what's happened between Zimbabwe and South Africa. Did you also notice that toxicity is so dangerous and very poisonous to a point where it destroys everything? Zimbabwe, once known being the bread and basket of Africa, being known having an educated community. Today, where are we? South Africans are not perfect, but if you put a South African and a Zimbabwean, yeah, there's a huge difference. In fact, South Africans are better than Zimbabweans now. Something that you don't want to talk about, but it's a fact. You see men leave Zimbabwe and fall in love with South African women. I'll tell you, it's not because of beauty. It's more than that. It's because they see women who are very feminine women compared to Zimbabweans. You know why? Because they don't struggle much like we do. Our people struggle a lot. I can tell you facts. And I'm saying this and I mean it. I used to struggle to actually be able to understand Zimbabweans. Because I'm like, how do they think? Why are they acting what they're doing? What are they doing? I would ask many questions. But until I realized that, no, man, it's the toxicity from ZANU-PF that is destroying our people daily. It is very sad, but it's a reality. Listen to Ramaphosa speaking. The respect that he has. They may not be perfect, but the facts remains. You can't compare with what's going on in Zimbabwe. Threatening your own people. That if you ask the president, he could say no, but this is not right. They said threatening you. I mean, who does that? But the president is because of the people. You know, there's no president without the people. There are no MPs and ministers without the people. So you need to remember that the people are even more important than any other civil servant. But no, a Zimbabwean situation is completely different. They're always muzzling on people, deceiving people, playing gimmicks. Talk of gimmicks. You see what's happening with the Apostolic Church today? The church, they are hiring people from the streets with long hair like this. We know the Apostolic Church don't do hair like that. You are much aware. They don't put weaves like I do. There's that other church, but it's different. Others don't do it. So you know what they do? You know what they do? They go there and pick people from the streets, paying them, and then masquerading as church members, deceiving people about a currency. I'm saying deceiving. That's the right word. Deceiving people in the society. Creating a culture of lies. That culture is cancerous. It does not build a nation. Rather, it destroys. But to them, that's a normal thing. And they call themselves the leaders. Then talking to citizens, what is it that you think works? How can we change? What can we do with our currency? And when citizens speak, they listen. But no, the Zimbabwean leaders are not like that. They will force people to believe in a lie. Deception. Now, Ali was saying, can we not compare Zimbabwean election and what happened? No, can we not compare any election to what happens in Zimbabwe? Zimbabwe can't be a benchmark. We will run the risk of sanitizing mediocrity. There is no election to talk about in Zimbabwe or DRC. That's why some Zimbabweans will fall over themselves congratulating things that are wrong. You know, he's telling the truth. We never had election in the country last year. It was gimmicks, playing people, some gimmicks. Guys, listen, and I'm sorry. If you want to hate me all you want. But you're going to hate me when I'm telling you the truth. There was never an election in Zimbabwe last year. Those were jokes. Don't you let me believe in a lie. You better kill me, brothers. I'm happy to go to heaven and sit with the Father. But I'm not going to buy the fact that there was an election. There was never an election. It was a gimmicks, playing people with the people's minds. Selling people a dummy. It's a shame. It is a shame. There was never an election last year. Let people speak the truth. That's why you're always looking for games to cover up your dirty work. How long are you going to cover up your dirty work? For how long are you going to do it? Because every time you're looking at what can we do? There are so many allegations as we speak. You know, that those people that you saw my postor, videos, they were smuggling our minerals. These are allegations. And let me tell you, you will see that truth will come out. And now also, I was asking myself questions. Number one, why were they being taken videos for? The last time I checked, if I'm going to church, why do you have to take me videos? Why were they having the same bags and handbags like they were brand new things that were bought for them? Yeah, guys, listen. What was the drama for them people to come and sing at the airport and be dancing? What was that for? Because everything was a script. Deceiving people. That's what they do. They always find what can we do to deceive the people. For how long are you going to be deceiving citizens? For how long are you going to be deceiving people? It is said, you're using the Church of Jesus Christ to do your dirty work. If kana currency yako unoimbirwa mu church kuti vanhu believe a currency, then it's not a currency. Because we see the president only with US dollars when he's giving out money. We've never seen him with a zig. Right? Some people are saying the Apostolic Church is not a church. But I beg to differ. I just think that is a church, but that people are using to do their dirty work. I don't think everyone in the church, they do know. And we all understand what happens with the most people from the rural areas. They just believe everything that they're being told. I guess that's one of the reasons why they're intentionally pauperizing the masses so that they can use them to do their dirty work. But let me tell you, God will judge in his own time. Hey, but this is my submission. I was telling some other people today, I said, you know what I think? You know what I think should happen? When we are out of this nonsense, this cloud that we are in, every person, everyone who did corruption should be given life imprisonment. You know why? Then they're living. You can see they're living, abusing people, showing off, doing all manner of things. They're living. So they need to be put in prisons that we can also start living. Because we don't need this kind of people in our society. They're too toxic to be in society. They must be in prison because of the evil that they've been sowing to the Zimbabwean people. These guys have ruined lives, guys. This was intentionally to destroy destinies. They ruined destinies. They deserve to be in prison for life. It's just that we don't have death sentence. Maybe we could do like what Rwanda did. Firing squad. They don't deserve to leave these people. They are wicked. They have no mercy. They do not have no mercy. Now, TG said Africans get played by superpowers. Easily they will see this will be free for generations to come. US, Russia, China, all want same thing, power and dominance and influence. Focus Africans, you're being used and abused. But there's some people, you know, that's their goal, to destroy. Right? To destroy. Bless you. But let me tell you, as much as we are always having these discussions, last night there was a discussion on Twitter as well. Again, hardliners for ZANU-PF are saying we do not want this any longer. In fact, they were saying we don't want, most of these older people must go. It's enough now. People are tired. They do not want their leadership any longer. And this was a conversation that happened last night on Twitter. You need to listen to what they were saying. It means every Zimbabwean is fed up, guys. It's not even about, it's no longer about ZANU-PF or Triple C. It's that people have realized that we are all being used. Being in the opposition too, you saw what happened. Look at the Sengezo Sharangu saga. I saw him addressing people. What are you addressing? What is he addressing? I also even hear that ministers always have 3 to 4 cars, if I'm not mistaken, 3 cars. I'm asking myself, what is the minister going to do with 3 cars? These were simply allegations being dropped on social media today. But I need to get facts on that. If that is true, then it's said. How do you give a person 4 cars, 3 cars to do what? Take a listen, please.
Let's be honest. These people cannot surrender over.
Okay, we hear. That is one argument, Munya. That is one argument. We hear that. Let us find out what other people think about that argument. It is an argument for sure. You are saying that, the voting process in Zimbabwe is so, so skewed towards the ruling party to such an extent that it is a waste of time to actually go and vote. Except if people can organize themselves to overthrow the government through the use of arms. And by the way, Sister Mama, are you able to speak now?
Yes, I am.
Okay.
Hulu, yes, I am.
All right. Yeah, do you hear? Munya is saying that our systems are so broken, our institutions are not working to such an extent that it is a waste of time to vote in Zimbabwe. And therefore, what happened in South Africa has got no bearing whatsoever in what can happen in Zimbabwe because of the structural deficiencies we have in our institutions. But then, during the liberation struggle, if you read, you hear that we were not there. But if you read, you hear that they say that they had to negotiate to negotiate with the Smith regime. So they didn't actually overthrow it using the arms, by the way, Sister Shmama. But go ahead.
Hulu, one thing, I liked his submission. Zimbabwe we need to take up arms and fight this. But Zimbabwe at this point in time does not need a civil war.
Yeah.
You cannot, we observed the August shooting. Zimbabweans have died, Zimbabweans were attacked, and we cannot afford more lives dying. We are rated amongst the most educated and most intelligent human beings in the African continent as Zimbabweans. Saka hatingapererwi pakusvika pakuti takungopererwa kuti ngapachiita civil war. No. Tichikundwa nemadhara futi. Madhara anokudza kuti to write $1 million unobhara zero, ugobhara zero, ugobheka koma. Guys. No. Takaenda kuchikoro. We have superior logic. People must just refuse nyaya yekuti vanhu ngavaende kuhondo. Zimbabwe cannot tolerate that. Okay, fine. From his point of view, kupererwa hulu, because hakuna opposition right now. Yakasimba inoti tinokwanisa kucontesta ZANU-PF. And I've said it before, it takes ZANU-PF to overtake ZANU-PF, but the change will be within ZANU-PF, like it or not. Because of the things that he was mentioning before, kuna ku South Africa tinomboona ropa isu kutanzi munhu achekwa nebanga akuvadzwa pane truck yasunga vanhu vanga vachiprotesta kana kuti vanga vachiinda kunoita noise. Hatina kumboona kana kunzi Julius Malema asungwa kuti Jacob Zuma azosungwa during the elections. Hatina kuzviona kuno ku South Africa. KuZimbabwe hazviko, right? Kana zvisiko izvozvo zvinhu izvi kuZimbabwe, how then does Kasukwere or Walter Mzembe wachona come up? Ndandiri kuexplain actually the whole vision ye G40. It's not about people. It's not about Walter Mzembe or Kasukwere. G40 is a generational consensus. It's a vision. Yekuti, we live, we crumble, we die. Therefore, young people must take over. And ED understands it very well. That is why sorry, someone's mic is open. I can just get feedback. So that is why Murikuona Munana Sandra Ndebele the new dispensation year 2024 Munana Sheki Munana Tatema Vetera. These youngsters, even as Kota, we've seen even Chivayo now, moving with the president. He understands that. But President Robert Mugabe, may he so rest in peace, he did not understand it. Because Aiti van Vaka Vanavuku Wondo, ana, Muzenda, ana Opam Chinguri, ana Maima Hofa, ana Mavaire, ana Shamiarira, all those old people most of them are dead. They also wanted a part in, to have my positions in ZANU-PF. because vanga vakarwa hondo vana Solomon Mujuru vana mai Mujuru vese ivavo vanhu vanga vakabva kuhondo, so they wanted to partake in the running of the country. But those people will perish, as I said. We live, we crumble, we die. Then we have young people who now say, guys, look at this thing here. Mucha Chembera, you are not going to be here forever. Why not allow, level the playing field kuti even uri ZANU-PF unokwanisa kukanda zita rako kuti ini ndine hulu ini ndoda kuita run for president pa Congress, say ZANU-PF president. Ini ndini, who do I see here, Dobbs or Zim1 or Divine or Munya. I also want to be the president. You throw your name. There is nothing wrong yekuti munhu anokwanisa kuva ambitious. We cannot criminalize ambition, guys, in Zimbabwe. Kuti nokuti Kasukwere watunoda kuita president, therefore ngasungwe. Pasine mandu, pasina Kasukwere, pasina mukadzi wake, and we all say, sure, 2030 vanenge vachipo. An old person who says to you, the first person uchapinda mochari nichakupa prize yokufa, and you want to run with that 2030 vanenge vachipo. Bara 00 makamba yobata 1 million. Mazimbabweans haasi kukwanisa kubata 1 million because hakuna mabasa. Kuna menial jobs ekuti vakanovhura zvimabhekari uko munochibika chingwa tsvaira mubhekari. You get it? Saka we want young people with young ideas, of which those young people that are in ZANU-PF are loyal to the people who have put them in position. Not without fear or favor. Those who have, andidi kutaura mazita shuwa ndingavengwa ndotanga kutukwa, but vanozvizivira vega. We know that so and so would not have been an MP in this particular constituency had it not been because of the system. So and so would not be in that other constituency had it not been because of the system.
They are contributing.
Mbomirai. Just wait. Wait. And these people, they know it themselves. Kuti had it not been because of President ED, so their loyalty goes to the head of state. Or the mukuru we ZANU-PF. Murundinzwisisa. Saka ZANU-PF system inoti. Like a snake. Unofanira kubvisa skin yako. Then you renew yourself, uchikwira hierarchy stages, uchinosvika kumusoro. So at the time yekuti, let's just say VP Chiwenga very advantaged because of the 2017 coup. Maybe that was the arrangement. But you cannot get to be president. Kana usati wakwira ma stages ekuva party. Kuti the president, so and so. And at that point in time, let's just say Kasukwere is now ready to be unengava kuma 80. Unenga chichibatsira chine ma ideas ake ava 8 years old. Just as we have President ED now in his 80s where he should be retiring. And even up to this day, I was saying to President ED vakaenda ku Dubai. We saw a video where he was checking out security systems in Dubai and he was saying, Kwachi. It means he's not capable of understanding the things that are presented to him. Therefore, ZANU-PF haina kupererwa nevarume vari intelligent vanoziva what needs to be done, vari capable zvekudaro. Right? And we are watching zviri kuitika as Zimbabwean women behind Zimbabwean men who are just saying chabangu, chabangu, and the men are not doing anything or speaking out even on Twitter. Varume vakatoneta vanotongochika zvakadaro. So I'm going back to South Africa now, where people are saying kuti kune democracy, Jacob Zuma haana kusungwa here. Akanzi wazodai haana kuatenda koti, haana kufrustratwa here ma-processes esaiwa here. But he came out, he made plans kuti ange pachibuda neparty yake achino divide that Nginikiru, and we have seen for the first time, for those who are not in South Africa, kwanaya kuchiri kutonaya. And we all know kuti kana mukachengeta munhu kukanaya, it means vadzimu kana kuti mwari vagamuchira or whatever. Kwanaya. The gods are not crazy. So now we are looking at a situation here. Some people say to me, Achi mama, unoti wewe uri kuZANU-PF wakusapota Shamisa. I am against corruption. Chivayo is on record. You know, he's got criminal records and things that have not been exposed as transparency and apana accountability whatsoever. Mnangagwa herself, we all know, has been going around the country with a cooking competition. Road runner, guys, 60 million worth of a project, a competition. How does that benefit Zimbabwe as a nation? 60,000.
So let's stop right there because, I mean, the allegations that, Auxilia Mnangagwa took almost 60 million from the state coffers to run her own cooking, a drive that she's doing from city to city. Can I ask you, cooking for people food, is that going to change the situation in the country? Can that create jobs? But because they're campaigning, it's kind of said, we love you. Huh? The level of deception in this country is shocking. Kubikira vanu, high feeds in a sadza, then mangwana, what are they going to eat? What's next? It's deception. They're very good at deceiving people. Quite very sad. It is really, really sad. And she's right. She took 60 million US dollars from the state coffers around the country. When there are no medication in the hospital, when their roads are a mess today. We are done here. If family guy, I want to know.
So how does it benefit us? As if ZANU-PF muna who can say good, no guys. They cannot say it because vapinzwa pachinzvimbo. Minister wechakuti, vapinzwa pachinzvimbo havana kana say. Whereas the G40, I'll end now, sorry. Whereas the G40 is saying, Ngati matano kune vana vadiki, and let it be okay for people to say, guys, is really wrong, is really right. It's not common, ZANU-PF. But we cannot be having politics, Zana Mshuai Mahofa, Zana Opam Chinguru Vanavaka, Sakara Kundara. Let's have because Pakaito constitution is ZANU-PF. Social media, isiko. Tatisinga zika mwisi kuti vanachimama vachavepo vachataura vachiti we tikuda kumirira zvido zvevanhu vari kutambudzika kwanga kusina social media, but now that is there, we are talking together as one family right now. Zviri kufaya here muZimbabwe? No, hazvisi. They are telling us zig iri kuZimbabwe, US dollar ndiyo iri kudominate, guys, whether we like it or not. Are we actually just going to say, all right, Takuto give up in Canada, I'm going to carry on with my life. In UK, I'm going to carry on with my life. The internet does not forget. Kuti Duchess of Vukururu said nothing. Duchess of Vukururu vakazotaura vakachallenger ningi vazukuru vake generations to come who read kuti no, but mbuya vangu vakataura zvakati. But Dobbs vazukuru vako who read kuti but sekuru vangu was fighting this regime or fighting this activity. So as Zimbabweans right now, tika unite. Whether uruku MDC, uruku P, let's unite for a good cause and say no to things that we can see good, whether we like it or not. 2030 is an agenda that is coming. One party state. 2030 this is a challenge that has been addressed to you as Zimbabweans. And no, it's so we want to challenge that, we want to put our names forward as Kasukwere. You can't because you're involved. Tite rally behind you because we don't want Madarai. Gachi retire. Thank you.
All right, you heard, ZANU-PF hardliners are saying, no, we don't want any more. We want these people to go. They're too old. Nothing is working in the country. We want a better society. I mean, we all got kind of sharing the same sentiments when it comes to that. you see America, right? You can see how old Joe Biden is. Honestly, we can see. But you know why it's kind of, you'll be surprised people are going to vote for him. It's because the systems are very strong. You can't compare with Zimbabwe. Things are falling apart. People are looting left, right, and center. You know why? Because they know there's no accountability. The leader may be busy. Right now, the president is in Korea. He was in Zambia 2 days ago. 3 days ago, I think about 4 days, he was in was it Kenya? Hey, Zambia, now he's in Korea. He's not, so people are just doing as they please. Signing off dirty deals, corruption everywhere, no accountability. But like I said to you earlier on, and I plead with the government, whichever government that's coming soon, it's coming soon. It's on the way. Brothers and sisters, any person who have been digging their hands in the jar of corruption should rot in jail, life in prison. Because the pain they've caused in Zimbabwe, the way they've ruined destinies, our nation, it can never be compared with even them being in prison. In fact, they were supposed to be executed, like what happened in Rwanda. Today, people are afraid to do crime because the laws are very strict. You don't mess up. The Zimbabwean community, it is enough. Enough is just enough. Yeah, we need a country that functions properly. And this is not even about politicians, yeah. It's about you pledged that you want to save the Zimbabwean people. You pledged, we did not call you. You came and said, I want to play to save. But now you started stealing. If you're stealing, you must be arrested. And your time is coming, brothers. This whole lead that is covering you is going to fall off soon because people are fed up. They want a better nation. Everyone is calling out to say it is enough. I know some people may argue, but people in Zimbabwe are not saying anything. It's a lie. Majority of people that are online here are Zimbabweans. They are live watching as we speak right now. People in Zimbabwe are seeing everything that's going on social media. They may try to blind them or stop them from communicating and talking, but they're exposed to what's going on in the country. Corruption. I mean, it is heartbreaking. You call yourself your friends to ANC. But here we are looking at ANC running their elections. They were not perfect, but you can never even get to 20% of what happened in South Africa. Peace. Be it people are campaigning, you're going to see buses all over the place. Do you understand what I'm saying? In Zimbabwe, some people could not even campaign. They're afraid. We saw people's cars were being beaten, hit, being damaged by ZANU-PF thugs. We saw some people being beaten up. Guys, until when are we going to stop this toxicity and just say, let's do good for ourselves? And even the brothers in ZANU-PF, my brothers, muchashikarini, muchirama upenyu weku butulika vamwe varume mu street. Muchashikarini. Mushita begging other men. Varume vamuri kusora muchinamata, vari kuvaka dzimba dzavo, vari kubuilda vana vavo. Imi muchingosora muchivanamata and get their dirty work. Yay, choose your life. Value yourself. You matter. You are special. You are important. It's time for us to start preaching truth, so at least we can reform our society. So now you've heard when they're talking about Kasukwiri thing and all. Actually, I'm coming back around 9:30, and I'm going to tell you why I'm coming back specifically. Is we need to start having a conversation, a very, very thorough conversation. And let me say this. I know how some people feel about Kasukwiri or whatever, what Zem and other guys. But you need to start choosing between a normal society or the abuse that we're going through right now with ZANU-PF. The choice will be yours. What you must remember is for us to have a normal society, we need to work together. Look what South Africans did. Look at them. ANC is working with everybody. You heard Ramaphosa telling you, we are going to stand and work with everyone for the betterment of our nation. We need to start working together. In order for us to neutralize this partisan politics, this is one of the reasons why Chamisa left. Because he realized that, no, man, all these gimmicks, this political thing is messing us up. Let's come together for the betterment of our nation and make sure we do the right thing to fix Zimbabwe. Do you understand me? Other countries, guys, it's about time. Brothers, it's about time. It's time for us to stand up and say, no, for the betterment of this nation, we are going to come together and stand against wrong. Then our country will be okay, and we we begin to live again and now having our rules, revamping our constitution, take away more powers from presidents. There's too many powers on these people. They've got too many powers to abuse people. It has to stop. But it will start with you and I coming together and say, no. We need to work together, brothers and sisters, to build our nation. It's not going to be a one-man band. We may have Chamisa as a leader, like you always want. He may be a president. But at the end of the day, you can't be a president running Zimbabwe alone. Look what Ramaphosa is doing, working with the DA, the EFF, all these parties. Let's build a South Africa that works for everyone. So we can have checks and balances. Corruption won't be allowed. Trust me, our roads are going to be fixed. Our hospitals will have medication because there are checks and balances. It's not one person making a decision. Just imagine, y'all, if Chamisa could have won election, let's assume, and our country is as broken as it is, you could have won an election together with won an election. Look at what happened with these MPs that he was working with, how they betrayed him. Just imagine what would be today. Chaos. Please, I'm asking you, we need to have a conversation of bringing Zimbabweans together. Work as one person so that we can neutralize the toxicity, corruption, evil that's going down in our country. Our minerals are finishing where we watch. Which one is better to come together and protect the interest of our country and make sure no one can just come and take our minerals? Because we are working together for the betterment of our nation. Lock up every thug for life in prison. Then the country will be starting again, guys. I'm asking you. That's where we are going right now. I'm coming back around around 9 p.m. 8:45, I'll be here. We need to expand that conversation because they did the same conversation last night, and I want us to talk about this and let everyone get involved. Zimbabweans across the world, let's have a conversation and make sure that we protect our nation. By all means, they don't care. I can see they don't even care. Do they look like people who care? They keep on manufacturing gimmicks every day. Look what they did with Shamangu. What is that? That can show you they don't care. So it's time for us to come together and say no to these gimmicks. We are tired and we want a Zimbabwe that functions. I thank you so much, guys, for coming through. And please, I've got almost 300 people here. Make sure before you leave, you like the live so that we push algorithm. People come through. Let's talk. Let's fix our country. The goal here is to fix Zimbabwe. It's enough. We are tired of all these gimmicks thing. We don't have time for this. This country has to be fixed by all means. I love you. May God bless you and may God bless Zimbabwe. I'll see you later on and bye for now.